Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through and do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'm going to interject my financial opinions as we go. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into these sectors, deeper into individual companies and potential investments. You can see what I'm doing. I just made some updates on some purchases I made today. So go check it out if you're already a member. And we still have a discount coupon code going on, Mayday, M-A-Y-D-A-Y, one word. If you're interested, you can always upgrade to the yearly membership to get further savings, also with that coupon code if you're interested. And we do have a question and answer session coming up this weekend on Sunday. It's a little bit different than what's scheduled. I couldn't do it on Saturday, so it'll be at Sunday at 5 p.m. Coming up this weekend ahead of us. So let's dive in there. Let's take a look and see what's going on today. We're going to start with the DXY. There we go. Start with the DXY, and this still looks pretty strong to me. It doesn't look like it's a topping pattern, and we've broken out of that falling wedge here to the upside. So that still looks good to continue higher. And I know that yields are looking a little bit weak today, but we didn't get much of a pullback in the DXY, at least not yet. So that still looks good to go higher until we see some evidence that it will drop. The 2-year yield looking a little bit heavy today to the downside, and that could drop in the short term to the downside. And that's kind of looking to be the case for the 2, the 10, and the 30 is what I'm seeing. So maybe we're heading a little bit lower towards the bottom end of this pattern down here in the short term. The 10-year also selling off, looking pretty weak. It's a bearish engulfing pattern. Sometimes the bearish engulfings down located really low down here aren't as strong as a turning point like this one is up here. I mean, just an FYI. And then the 30-year also getting some selling pressure today. It does look a little bit weak, where we could head a little bit lower in the short term, and maybe we are also heading towards the bottom end of this support level down here. And we'll see if we can break to the downside or if it will catch support where that support level is at. TYX-TNX ratio, it is slightly higher today. Nothing huge. It does look like a retest on that trend line that is going down. And we'll see if we can get any meaningful uninversion of this curve, which would be positive for precious metals. That's what I'm using this for. Precious metals did fantastic from circle to top here. Absolutely fantastic. And that is when you wanted to rotate out of precious metals and into the oil and gas space. Bond prices up a little bit, up about almost 1% actually, and it looks pretty good for that to continue. So it makes me think that definitely short term, that yields are going to drop, bond prices are going up, but I don't know what that means in the medium term because we're still in those patterns. We still have support underneath us, and we'll have to see how much power or strength this move's going to have behind it for yields to come on back. I know there's been some easing around the world that has already occurred, and maybe we will follow. Difficult to say, but we'll monitor it here together. And then the 2 and 10, we still have further inversion. The short end of the curve was down, but it was down less than the 10-year yield. So that resultant was a move higher in the yield curve moving on up, because the 2-year fell less than the 10-year. So the 10-year and the longer end of the curve dropping a little bit more than the short end. Gold prices, if we get the yields to drop like I think they're going to, this would be good for gold to head higher. And that's what it looks like it's positioned to do. It's positioned to do exactly that. So let's watch it. Let's see if we can break out of this pattern and move on up. Silver also inside of its pattern, ready to pop, I think. If we get those yields to drop, just watch yields, guys. And I bet you could probably guess which direction gold and silver are going to go. if you're watching yields. So we're getting pretty close here to a breakout on both of those. Platinum is firming up a little bit. It's up again today, 0.8%. And that is, it looks like to me that we've got a broken downtrend here, just throwing that in there. So that does look pretty good. And we'll see if we can gather any sort of momentum to the upside and break this larger trend line that we just haven't broken out yet. If we break through that, we'll see if we can get a little run together. And then palladium, again, this is the one that is opposite of all the rest. It's still on support, and it's basically either going to hold here for a little bit because we're at support, or we could see further deterioration because this is the metal that goes opposite of all the others. Which is, we need this, but it could base out here for a little while. It could still fall a little bit further into this support zone, or it could just stay and go sideways. But I don't expect this to just rip to the upside and do some sort of V-bottom. That's not my expectation. XEU to go ratio, higher today, 0.7%. And we are above this breakout line still, and everything looks good. So I'm hoping that gold and silver can rally here, and we can get a good move in the gold and silver mining companies where this starts to make some progress upward against the physical metal itself. That's what we're hoping for. We've got GDX up 1.5%, looking pretty good. We are above the support level. So, guys, this looks fantastic, and hopefully we can get a run here. Same with GDXJ. It is right underneath resistance, and we are up today. And let's see if we can put together a little run here to the upside. We've got SILJ also back up against support, and pretty good candlestick today. It's a bullish engulfing. We're seeing some bullish engulfings show up, and we've broken the downtrend in SILJ. So I'm looking for moves higher out of all those. Crude oil up 1.23%. It's looking pretty good. Are we going to break here, guys? That is the big deal. The first one is the break at about 81.50-ish. And then I'd like to see us clear 87-ish. I don't know if we're going to break it and just run this year. We could. We'll see. But breaking out of this pattern, that's going to be a fun one because we're going to get a big run out of this. I am really bullish on oil and energy service. And from where those companies are trading at in terms of prices and valuations, there's a lot of good value there in that sector. TTF gas up 1.4%. I'm going to remain bullish, guys. We're in an uptrend. Higher lows, higher highs, still looks good. Natural gas in America up 4%, and that is a bullish engulfing that we got today. Higher, higher, higher. So we got the retest basically today back to that support level. I think we're going to move on up. I think everything looks really good here, guys, for crude oil and natural gas. So again, when those both go up together, that will also be good for rig count and a lot of other things in energy service that maybe people are overlooking at this time. So our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, not a huge day today. Pretty underwhelming in terms of what was delivered by the XOP ETF. So let's be patient. If crude oil and nat gas continue to go up, we'll see if we can get some sort of life beat into the XOP and it's at a very excellent location here, guys. So I'd really like to see this thing turn around, but hopes and wishes don't do anything. We need to see some money flows come in. And then OIH also, we were up today, 0.33%, but kind of an underwhelming move given what natural gas did and what crude oil did today. I would have expected a little bit bigger move. Some people get worried saying, well, you know, is a recession here? Is a slowdown, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because the equities are not following the underlying commodity itself. Well, there could be some validity to that, but to me, it looks like we've got some pretty big patterns that are about to break to the upside. So I wouldn't quite go that far. We are at support for OIH, and let's see if we can get some good trading days to to come in here and really start hopefully putting a little support base underneath us so we can start moving on up. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, huge move today, up 5.3%. Surprisingly, it's a pretty big move. So this does look like we're trying to put in a short-term bottom here, and we got a rip today. So it looks pretty good, and we'll see if that momentum can continue. URA also moving on up, about 2.5%, and we've been just working our way on up. That looks really good. I mean, nice little bullish engulfing today. Looks good. For the weekly. URNM also bouncing off support, looking pretty good. We've got support going across horizontally and through this guy here too. So nice little bounce there, and URNJ up 2.59%, right on support. And we'll see if we can get some momentum built here. It's looking good. Looking at TAN, up 0.3%. Still downside momentum though. It's not a huge reversal candlestick or anything like that. We've got copper. Copper looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here too. Whenever you kind of come in and the momentum starts to turn sideways, the candlesticks opening and closing prices get kind of close to each other. We also have a hammer candlestick today, which means we got some buying pressure towards the back half of the day. And that's this back half there. That's some momentum. So let's see if we can get some movement to the upside here. We've got COPX also getting bought up. A nice little bullish engulfing. Looks good to try to work its way on up. Not too bad. We've got lithium still moving sideways. This still looks a little bit weak. I wouldn't be jumping on it yet. We have small bounce day with some good momentum downside. REMX also just moving sideways, but we've got momentum to the downside. I just don't jump in front of these trains, guys. I don't want to get run over. SPX still working on its way up. Momentum's to the upside. Still looks good to go higher. We've got NASDAQ also up a little bit, and the momentum's to the upside. Russell 2000 up a little bit. That could be considered a bloody nose, and we'll see if we can get some punch momentum generated to the upside. KRE, another like little bloody nose. I think we'll probably see a move to the upside on this. We can also draw a little downtrend here that we're basically breaking. So that also looks like it could move on higher for KRE in the short term. We've got emerging markets that is up 1%, weaker yields. I think it was weaker dollar too. That looks good to continue up. Looks really good. We've got XHB holding on, but that looks good because we've got a couple of bullish engulfings there and there that are going to stack up and try to work its way on up. So this consolidation, if we can break the downtrend line, which is basically just a downtrend line that looks like that, if we can clear that, I think we could probably stage a little rally here. Moo, finding support right where it's at. I think it looks fantastic down here. Great opportunity to be looking and getting some shares in this support zone right where it's at. Iron ore up 0.65%, looking pretty good. And I think we'll probably start to see a shift where we start to turn on higher there as well. Nickel just moving sideways right at that support little zone I put. We've got aluminum down a little bit, surprisingly with yields going down like that, but it's just been kind of working its way on down. And a lot of times, guys, like I don't try to trade the short term like this. I don't, daily go in or whatever. But your buy point was down here when it was squeezing up. And that's when you want to go look at the equities. Get a big move up, and now I would just be riding it. I would be riding it. Baltic Dry Index sideways, but still looks really good. We were basically at support, bouncing off support, so that looks good. We've got Newcastle Coal Futures down a little bit, but we've broken the downtrend. This is buy points all in here, in my opinion, to accumulate shares in my favorite coal companies that people probably are not really looking at. BTC down a little bit today. We're coming back to this support zone there, and we'll see if that holds. And then we got Ethereum also down a little bit. We've got some buying pressure towards the end of the day. We can look at that. You can see how it popped up a little bit there. You can also draw a trend line in the short term where we've broken through that downtrend line there to the upside. So we could get a stage a little rally here. And again, that's in the very short term. We need to see what it looks like because it could easily come up and roll over. So, but again, that's really short term. I don't really play the really short term. I play these bigger patterns and the breakouts like this would be a buy there and breakout. So it still looks good to go up, in my opinion, not down. SMCI up a little bit, and that looks good to continue higher. And then NVIDIA, I know there's a lot of momentum in NVIDIA. Whoops. And oh, even more momentum, up 3.5%, still crushing it to the upside for NVIDIA. I'm not playing NVIDIA, just going over it to see and watch it. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website. Just as a reminder, we have a Sunday question and answer session coming up at 5 p.m. I can't do it on Saturday. One of the reasons I traveled back to Minnesota is to do some things, and one of those things is on Saturday. So we're doing that at 5 p.m. On Sunday again. I will record it, upload it to the website. And if you guys have any questions that you can't make the session, go ahead and send them to me through the website. And I will make sure to include those questions as needed. So, but that's what I've got for today, guys. Hopefully you're holding on and doing all right. And we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.